passes.
Tell them to call Marlon.
Just start.
Yeah.
Good evening, and welcome to the emergency call meeting of May 21st, 2019 of the Muskogee City Council. Roll call, please.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
Ivory Van. Dan Hall.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Janie Boydston.
Here. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of an emergency resolution declaring a local emergency under the Oklahoma Emergency Management Act of 2003 for portions of the city of Muskogee near and adjacent to the Arkansas River, authorizing implementation of the emergency operation plan, authorizing entry onto private and public property, authorizing abatement of any and all existing and imminent threats to the life, safety, health, and welfare of the city or its residents, suspending all purchasing procedures of the city where necessary for a period of 48 hours, and authorizing the Director of Emergency Management to issue and enforce mandatory evacuation order of affected areas or take other necessary action.
Tyler Evans.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
My name is Tyler Evans. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for the City of Muskogee. As well, I realize Oklahoma's been hit with some pretty severe storms over the last 72 hours. Now, while Muskogee hasn't necessarily got much rainfall over these storms, as we know, our partners up north, Tulsa, that area Skytook, got nearly 8 inches of water. Tulsa's got, I think, 5.5 inches of water, and all that is coming downstream. I'm going to give you guys some quick figures. We have a National Weather Service buoy out at Arkansas River that kind of gives us the levels of the river, the current river levels. 28 feet is considered the flood stage for Arkansas River, 32 feet being the moderate flood stage, 34 plus feet is the major flood stage, and about 35.2 feet is where we start seeing flooding at Riverside Trailer Park at 4400 Gibson. As of today at 6 p.m., we're at 32.3 feet. So we're already at the moderate flood stage here in Muskogee. National Weather Service is estimating tomorrow morning by 7 o'clock in the morning we'll be at 35.5 feet. So we will be flooding in Riverside Trailer Park, if not before tomorrow morning. They've estimated tomorrow night at 1900 hours, we're at 37.7 feet. And right after midnight, we're going to be at 38 feet, which is going to be record levels for the city of Muskogee. They're comparing this to the 1946 flood?
86.
1940.
1986.
1986 flood, excuse me. So we're looking at possibly the second most historical flood that we have on record for the city of Muskogee.
So, in addition, they were not calculating Oologah releasing their water when this was made, so the 38 feet may actually end up being 40 as we go through the day, and they figure that out for sure.
We also have some more rainfall up north in Kansas. You can look on the radar. There's more rain that's up north that will probably eventually make its way here. We're looking for this data to continue to stay the same, at least, I think, through the weekend, to stay at 38 feet through the weekend. So this is not a temporary flooding. This is going to last at least a couple of days that the NWS is predicting. I'm asking that we implement the emergency operations plan so we can move forward and do what we need to do to protect life and property here in the city of Muskogee. We have activated our emergency operations center at the 911 dispatch center, and we have also established a unified command with the Muskogee County Emergency Management to team up with them. They are also at the emergency operations center now doing what they need to do to help their citizens in the county. You guys have any questions?
Tyler, give us a list of areas we need to be concerned about. Is it just Riverside Trailer Park? Because for the people that don't watch the news and don't pay attention to anything, if someone asks one of us, we probably should be ready to say this area, this area, this area.
Correct. The main area that we're focused on right now is the Arkansas River area. Okay. We do have some citizens on the other side of the river in residential housing. They have been notified. This could also affect our water plant and our sewer plant and our operations for the city of Muskogee as far as our sewer operations go.
Okay.
At what level does that occur?
So The water plant, the fence is 522 feet of elevation. This will get to about 512 at that water depth. The problem would be the sewer plant. It's 510 at their lowest spot. So if that water stayed at 512 for very long, they couldn't give me a time frame, but eventually the sewer would back up into town because there's no place for it to go.
That's all dependent on time frame is what we're talking about there.
Right. So the ones that are affected, I've had patrol officers, they've already went and talked to everybody at Riverside and what we call the windmill houses, which is on the other side. They've all been notified.
Do we know how many potential residents? I mean, that's not at capacity.
No, I don't have an exact number for you on that. I do know also, you remember in '86, OG&E didn't flood, but around it did. So I would assume that it's probably going to get to that point again, where it'll be operational, but they just may not get in and out. The difference with this that we've debated all day is in the '86 flood, it was raining and it flooded. This is all coming from one direction and it's backing up the creek. So we've been asked about the meadows. I live close out there. I don't have any idea because I don't recall this ever happening this way. So I don't know at that level how far the water will back up in the creeks to get to the meadows or something like that, just simply because I've never seen them before that way. The meadows I know is at 515 feet. So I think at the very least it will probably flood the road, but hopefully not any houses. That's my best guess.
It's got its find its way there. It's typically area runoff, the large quantities
And
of
it's
water
all running to
quickly.
the Arkansas, and now it's coming back this way. So I don't know the elevations there as far as how much it will, backfill. So,
Unique situation.
yeah.
Tyler, in hearing some of the things that you said, the resolution indicates a suspension of the purchasing procedures for 48 hours.
Correct.
Is that enough?
I would like to see this extended at least until I'd say early next week to get an idea, because like I say, the river levels are going to stay at 38 feet at least through, I think they estimated Saturday. Chad, is that correct?
Yeah, but it's not, once it gets to 38 and it crests, about 7 p.m. Saturday nights when it starts tapering off, but it's not dropping very fast. It's going to take 2 or 3 days for it to get back down to where it normally is.
Okay.
So you like
And
it
that's assuming
extended
no more water comes.
4 days, 5 days? Tyler, what are we saying?
I mean, Tuesday. I think it would be safe to say at least till Tuesday of next week. If that's acceptable.
What days is that?
And obviously, if we're still at that stage where we
160.
have to have further expenditures, I think.
Then Monday night, we could probably just,
So
at council, we could fix it.
we need to make it 168 hours.
Okay.
That would be what that would be
That
comparable
would get you
to.
through Tuesday.
That would get you
Tuesday,
through.
okay. And that way, if something happens Monday, we have to further it, and then you guys could
Yeah.
look at it then.
Okay.
So if
We
there,
actually have council Tuesday night because Monday's a holiday.
That is true.
I'm sorry.
On the police side, for the mandatory evacuation, we're not mandatorily evacuating anybody until it was absolutely necessary. So we've just advised them at this point, because this thing is, it's changed 14 times since the meeting today at 3 o'clock. So this is worst case scenario,
Okay.
but we're not going to go out there and just kick everybody out of their house until we absolutely had to do something.
But it's changed towards the bad, not the good.
It's done this all day long, and now we're back up worst case scenario again.
So, Mr. Tucker, do we motion as presented?
No. Well, you could do that, but I would suggest, because we're in an emergency meeting and we need to be as clear as possible, I think an appropriate motion would be to approve the resolution substituting 48 hours for 168 as it relates to the suspension of the purchasing procedures.
So move.
Second.
What are some of the things that you'll need to probably purchase?
At this point, I hate to say this is what we're going to purchase. This is obviously for emergency purchases only. it could go anywhere from food, water, anything our first responders need if they're activated to start doing swift water rescue or high water rescue. Anything that we need to do to keep our citizens safe or take care of them, necessary actions.
The only reason I ask that is just because people are going to go, well, shoot, they got a free PO open now, and
Right.
just make sure that they understood what we were going to use it for.
Correct.
Which is a great question, and all of the purchases that are made pursuant to this resolution do still have to be approved by the council. It's just after the fact.
Okay.
So you will have an opportunity to review those.
If I'm not mistaken, Riverside, one of the good things about it, the last thing to flood out is the ingress and egress, correct? It's the highest point
Right,
coming in.
the far northeast corner trailer is
Yep.
the first one to go. That creek, if you look at the map, comes off the river and goes back north on the around the trailer park.
But it's
And
not the
always
point.
that far corner.
Yeah, it's not the point where somebody can't get out. The
Right.
worst thing
No.
is if they didn't know it. So with you giving alerts already, there shouldn't be
Correct.
that challenge.
Right.
They should be well aware of it. When are we looking at the crest time? Right now I know it's very early.
To Riverside,
Yeah.
when that is estimated, tomorrow morning at 0700 is going to be 35.5 feet. Flooding starts at 35.2 feet. So right now we're looking probably 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
So they've been provided that information?
Just within the last hour or so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or discussion? Roll call.
Evelyn Hibbs,
Yes.
Marlon Coleman,
Yes.
Derek Reed,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Patrick Kale,
Yes?
Wayne Johnson,
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes, and the motion carries. There being nothing further, we are adjourned.